Hey there, welcome to Get Up and Go Challenge 5, Day 6. Today we're going to talk about the 7 whys that make you wise. Why do we want to talk about the 7 whys? This is one of my favorite topics. It didn't used to be, but it has become one of my favorite topics in 2020 because the tool, the 7 whys tool, as in the question why, one of the most important questions we can ever ask ourselves, and one of the most perplexing questions if we try to ask it about other people and their motivations. Half the time we don't even understand why we do things ourselves. How on earth would we ever expect to understand why other people do the things that they do? We try to find out. We always ask ourselves, one of the biggest questions we ask ourselves, why would they do that? Why would they say that? Why would they think that? How come they did that? What's the reason that they're picking on me about this? We ask why all the time. And here's the thing about questions. Whatever we ask ourselves, we'll get ourselves an answer. Our subconscious will serve us up an answer whether it's true or not. So if we ask ourselves why, we want to be intentional about it. Or guess what? Our subconscious will share and give us all kinds of often BS reasons from our past experiences, or it'll just make things up to answer the question why. Our brain does not like unanswered questions. That's why when we're consistently telling ourselves, I don't know what I want, well, I don't know what I think, I don't know what I prefer, our subconscious will just keep serving us up all the things that we don't want because it has to have an answer to every question that we ask. Our brains are incredibly powerful things. I wish I understood mine more. So let's talk about 7 whys. What the heck is 7 whys and why 7 whys? You might have experienced a tool called the 5 whys. And for decades, up until 2020, I have always done the 5 why exercise. I teach it, I share it with everybody I interact with and consult with because it's such a powerful tool. When we understand our deep-rooted motivations and reasons for doing things, it supports us. So when the going gets tough, we have reasons to fall back on to convince ourselves to keep moving toward what it is that we really want. So early this year in January, every January I go on like a learning kick, and I'm always learning and reading and growing and studying things, but it seems like January is like January and August. I always feel like I should be going back to college in August, and in January it's a new year and I always just want to boost in awareness and learning activities. So I'm always studying things. So early this year, I participated in one of Dean Graciosi's, I think it was Dean Graciosi and Tony Robbins, a course that they were doing. I don't even remember what it was, something about masterminding, because I've been following them for a long time. And one thing that Dean taught about, maybe it was make your best year ever or something, I don't remember because I do so much of this stuff. But he taught a concept called the 7 whys. And he said, like me, he's done the 5 whys for a long time. We probably got that from Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn or somebody. I don't even remember. And Dean, I don't think he said who he got the 7 from. I don't remember who he said, but I give him credit because that's where I learned it. Where instead of just asking yourself a series of 5 why questions, you add 2 more. And he, like me, didn't think that it would make a difference, but he realized that it really, really did. It causes you to go deeper and really tap into your beliefs, your core values, your feelings, your long-held thoughts and really tightly held emotions that are attached to the thing that it is that you're trying to do. So I'm going to give you a quick example of this. I'm trying to keep these under 10 minutes, but sometimes there's a lot to say about them. But let me give you an example. Why the Get Up and Go Challenge? Why did I, in April, actually in March, decide to do this Get Up and Go Challenge? And then why the heck have I done it? This is the 5th 30-day plus one. Why have I done it through that? Well, why did I originally decide I wanted to do the Get Up and Go Challenge? If I ask myself, I say, okay, I'm going to do this Get Up and Go Challenge. Well, why am I going to do that? I want to do it because, number 1, I love challenges. Number 2, well, then it gets into another one. I love challenges. That is maybe not my answer, but why do I want to do a challenge? Well, I want to help people move through the chaotic time of COVID-19. COVID-19 had just hit, and I'm like, I got to do something. I want to do something. I tend toward action. So I'm like, what can I do? I could do a challenge. So I wanted to do it to help people get through COVID-19. Well, why did I want to do that? Well, to better prepare them for change and the challenges that were inevitably going to happen as a result of a pandemic. I don't know about you, but until 2020, I had like 0 experience with the pandemic. I didn't even think, sure, I'd heard the word, but I never gave it even a second thought. And here we were finding ourselves in the midst of it. So why did I want to help people better prepare to deal with it? Well, why did I want to do that? Well, to reduce doubt, worry, fear, pain, uncertainty, and stress related with all of the change that was coming down the road. Well, why did I want to deal with that? Because I was experiencing those things myself, right? I wanted to help make a positive difference in other people's lives, but I also wanted to make sure that I was, you know, there's always a self-survival aspect to anything that we do, right? We always do what's in our own best interest at the time, given the information that we have. So why? Well, I wanted to reduce those things for other people, but I also wanted to reduce it for myself. Why did I want to do that? Because I wanted to feel like I was doing something, right? I wanted to feel like I was taking action and making a difference in a positive way in a situation that most people would view as absolutely positively out of control, chaotic, and negative. Well, why did I want to do that? Well, to find the lessons, the good, the opportunity in all of the craziness, all of the you know, out of control feeling that we were all experiencing. Well, why did I want that? Well, so I could get some control, so I could feel like I could do what I can and have control in the situation. So do you see how I started out wanting to help other people, but really it's about how do I want to behave and how do I want to show up and how do I want to be in the world? And why is that? I guess I'm up to 8. Why did I want that? Well, to make a difference in the world, to make a positive difference in the world by being an example, by doing what I can do with what I've got right now to help make the world a better place, to help be an example, not a warning of how not to be when there's a change or a challenge or chaos going on. So I don't know if that was a great example. It's kind of hard when I do it right off the cuff because I lose track of what I'm thinking. I always write this down. And since the beginning of the challenge, I've done this at least probably a dozen times because I've done it 5 times for each of the challenges as one big thing. I just pick something like, you know, why'd I do the challenge? Or, you know, I've done all different things, but I've done it for different areas and aspects of my life. Remember, we've got physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. I've done it for each of those areas of my life and a big thing in my life. Well, why do I want this? And I've learned some really interesting things about myself. It doesn't seem like you get down to the core beliefs. And what does this have to do with? This gets to the point that I need to feel some modicum of control. Why? Because in my life, there's been a lot of examples and situations where I felt like I was out of control and I didn't have a say in what was going on. I didn't have any control. And that's from my past experience. So by going 7 whys deep, I actually get down to my need and my personal desire to have control and know that I have some power to influence and change and create what it is that I want in my life. Same as I went through this with one, I don't remember what the other area was, but I worked it down and I realized that I was doing what I was doing in a certain area because I didn't want to feel stupid. And I thought, well, where the heck does that come from? Because, you know, I feel like I'm not stupid, but obviously deep down inside of me, there was a part of me that doesn't want to feel or look stupid. So it's amazing what going through this 7 layers deep actually will bring up for you. Is it sometimes a little bit uncomfortable? Is it sometimes shocking and you're like, wow, where did that come from? Like I've had several instances where I've cried or where I've like, where did that come from? And then I'll think back and I'm like, oh God, when I was like in 2nd grade, this happened and it made me feel stupid. And ever since then, I've been piling stuff on feeling stupid because our subconscious does that too. It will prove to us what we believe about ourselves. So love this exercise. Our assignment today, our challenge today is to do this once. Roll through this once, doing 7 times. Just grab a piece of paper. You don't have to write it down, but if you're like me, you lose track at what one you're on if you don't, you know, use your fingers to count on or write it down. And there's something about writing it down that helps you see the progression and be like, oh, wow. Get light bulb aha moments by doing this exercise. So share in the comments below just that you've done it. And then if you'd share one thing that you learned or realized, it doesn't have to be a self-revealing scary thing, but just like, oh my God, I never realized how much something from my childhood was actually still affecting me. Whatever it is for you, share it in the comments below so that I can, number 1, know I'm not alone. And number 2, other people can know that they're not alone and that we all are going through massive changes this year and massive experiences, and it's impacting all of us differently. All right, that's it. 7 whys today. If you've got questions about this, if you'd like more examples of this, hit me up and we can have a little discussion, or I could do a Q&A about it and we could do some more examples. I've got literally dozens of examples of this that I've done this year, on different topics. I need a magnifying glass. One was being in relationships. It looks like business. It looks like challenges. Why do I like challenges? I personally freaking love challenges because I've been doing them for decades. All kinds of things. So I've got pages and pages of where I've actually done this, where I've written out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I say, well, what is my thing? And what that has helped me do is bore down to what's really important to me, what really are my core values, and we'll go into that a little more deeply tomorrow. That's it. Have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow. Go do your 7 whys.